What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Daniel Sports Ledger, sports betting tips and picks for sports bettors. I just spilled my coffee.
Solid start.
I am a little under the weather, so I'm gonna try to keep my sniffles to a minimum. But jeez. Anyways, why don't you take over for a second, Mannie? I'll clean this mess up.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, we had a slight situation here. My buddy needs some coffee to kind of get his day going, and then he decided to go ahead and spill the entire cup, which is okay. This week, I believe we got some great games on the line. It's insane the mess this guy just made.
It's not that bad.
No, it's horrible. Like, we were so set, prepared, ready to go, and then as soon as we go live, boom, let's go ahead and just make a massive mess. But you know what? We shake it off. We move forward. It's kind of like when you go 0 for 3 during a week, and you just make the best out of it because we always have the Monday parlay.
Right.
Yeah. So just going on a quick little recap of how I did last week. I made actually 6 total picks. I lost 2. 2 of my losses were super long shots. I took Saquon Barkley to get 150 rushing yards against the Raiders. Little did I know my Raiders defense is just phenomenal.
Right.
He didn't get nowhere near that. I think he got like 95, which is still really great for a running back. And then, of course, I took Zay Flowers to get 6 receptions for Baltimore. He got 1.
Right.
Got 1 reception. Put me in a game, I could get 1 reception.
Right.
Oh, what can you do? But then I hit Mahomes, no interceptions on the early bird game, which I sweated through it because Mahomes just loves to toss that pigskin. Pretty good. Then, of course, I hit the under on that Las Vegas Raiders game with the Giants. Kind of was lucky to go under. A couple people are mad that it went under because they could have hit the 33 had the Raiders kicked a field goal at the end of the game. So I know one guy specifically who's super pissed about that. Then, of course, I hit Baltimore money line and then Raiders money line. So It was a pretty good little week for me. I went what'd I win? I won 4 games out of 6.
Right.
So not bad. For myself. That's not bad.
Not bad at all. So last week I went 2-1, but technically I went 2-0 because I backed out of that Rams game.
I couldn't believe it.
I'm still gonna add it to my record here, so I'm gonna take that loss. But what happened is I didn't realize Stafford wasn't gonna. Well, it was like a last minute decision that Stafford didn't play, and so that
you backed out of it at the end.
Yeah, I did, yeah. And I talked to some people and told them I was backing out too.
Which you should. Of course, if you see any type of adjustment that occurs during the spur moment of the game time, back out of it. If everything is not in the same aspect as which you were wanting to make your bet, back out of it.
Exactly. So technically I went 2-0, but I did give out the Rams. So the Chargers didn't let me down 2 weeks.
Of course, we black out. We have to do it at least once.
Almost every episode. So yeah,
wardrobe change.
And then Cleveland destroyed Arizona.
Yeah,
27-0.
Which we're staying on this. Well, you might not, but I'm definitely going to stay on this train of just destroying Arizona. They're almost planning on just losing every game. And don't get fooled this week. There's something coming up, and most of you obviously know what's going to be happening with Arizona.
Right.
But I'm telling you, don't get fooled. And I don't think the lines are adjusting that much. But
so right now, my free picks on this podcast is 21-8. That's ridiculous. Dude, that's if you don't count that last one, it would be 21-7. But we're gonna count it.
Yeah, you got to.
Anyways, we do have a guest today. So we actually probably end up talking a little bit of baseball because I know he's a huge baseball fan. He still wants to talk about the World Series. Ooh. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get him on earlier, so we'll talk a little bit about that and ask him some other questions. So,
let's dig deep.
Yeah, so please welcome a good friend of mine. His name's Joel Zwak, and here we go. Joel, welcome in.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So. Joel, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us what kind of sports do you like?
If there's a ball rolling around or a puck flying by, we're on it, right?
That's right. Exactly.
Dude, right up my alley.
Are you an Arizona homer?
Yeah. I'm also a Minnesota homer too.
Oh,
So
okay.
most of my family's from Minnesota, but I'm born and raised in Arizona.
Okay. Awesome.
So what's your favorite baseball team?
Minnesota Twins.
Okay.
Kirby Puckett?
Kirby Puckett.
Oh yeah,
Kirby
Puckett. Hell yeah.
That was a hell of
Best
a
World
run.
Series ever.
I couldn't believe he hit a home run. That little fella. He kind of reminds me of the kid from Houston. What's his name? The kid from Houston? Altuve.
Altuve, yeah.
How do they do that?
Yeah. He was. I think Kirby was probably 5'9" or something. Pretty same. Little roly poly, though, a little round.
Oh, he was roly. He could hit a dinger.
Oh yeah, him and Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn they hit a lot alike. One from the left side, one from the right.
Yeah.
Kirby had a little more pop than Tony Gwynn, but similar players.
So what did you what's your take on this year's World Series?
I mean, obviously Diamondbacks, I mean, that was an amazing feat for them to get to the World Series when they barely made the playoffs.
Shouldn't even been in the playoffs.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I didn't even hardly get a chance to even watch them this year. I didn't even know they were even good.
So, I mean, they finished last year in the pitching as one of the top pitching staffs. So, I mean, if anybody were to want to put some dough on it due to their pitching, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But God, they're so horrible. Like,
yeah.
In that division is tough. What do you think of that division?
Well, I mean, obviously you got the Dodgers. So, I mean, like, how do you get by those guys? But obviously they rolled right through them. that 3-game series, you know, that 5-game series, you can roll a good team real easy.
Yeah.
You got to love seeing the Dodgers lose.
Oh, hell yeah.
Not only lose, but get swept.
And get smoked, too. Not even showing up.
Uh-huh. But Kershaw is infamous, right? We all know that. Kershaw is infamous in the playoffs.
Yeah, for losing.
Yeah, for losing. For throwing a few duds every once in a while.
Yeah. God, the Diamondbacks, if the Diamondbacks could have just brought those bats to the World Series, it could have been a different. But I tell you, that pitching staff for Texas was tough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then their bats.
They kind of ran into a team that was just a little hotter than they were.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's all about getting to the playoffs and making a run is all about being healthy and being hot.
Right, because it is momentum.
Yeah.
I said that. That's one of the reasons why we took in the beginning series. We actually took the Phillies and the Diamondbacks to come out of their prospective playoff series because of momentum alone.
Yeah, I mean that's everything. I mean, you carry that into any playoffs, football, whatever it is.
Right.
Because I mean, the season's a long grind. So I mean, when you can show up when it matters, that's when it matters. You know. So, I mean, that's kind of what the Diamondbacks did. They showed up when it mattered.
I feel like you're kind of like I am when it comes to baseball. Like, was there 600 games? Let's watch 2 or 3 on an occasional Sunday afternoon.
I usually catch my West Coast games at, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. But this year is a little different because the games are so fast that sometimes by the time I got chilled out enough to watch baseball, the stuff was already over already.
That's kind of a good point.
Yeah.
They were a lot quicker.
Yeah, they were. I mean, it was even the playoffs were fast. They started at, 5 o'clock in Arizona. And I mean, they're done by 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I was like, I mean, I like the improved speed, but I also like watching a 16-inning game that takes 6.5 hours too.
Especially if you're betting on it.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to just – it's been a while when I bet baseball that I could actually just be like, okay, I'm still in this game. I felt like every time I bet a baseball game, I'm just out of it by the 3rd inning.
Yeah.
It sucked. I just sucked at baseball. That's why I'm not a baseball guy. Daniel's a baseball guy. He said you're a baseball guy. And maybe it's just not a passion for baseball. That's why I suck at it. I'd just be like, that pitcher.
You just got to bet it more. Then you'll get more to it.
Well,
So
if you're
hard.
doing prop bets on baseball, you got to wait maybe like 2 to 3 innings to see your prop bet for, let's say, Mike Trout or something. You know what I mean? So I don't really like to bet on baseball either. I don't think.
Did Daniel tell you about his Seager bet?
No, I haven't told him.
So he comes into work one day and he's like, "Hey, I just laid this bet down." Tell him.
Yeah, I put 100 on Seager for the first home run of the game. First at bat, he hits a dinger. 1,900.
While the rest of us are just like taking losses left and right.
Well, that was the man. That was the man to put that bet down on. That's for sure.
Seager was a monster.
Seager is. Yeah. He is, dude. He's so consistent.
He was just like one notch better than Cartel. Is it Cartel Mate?
Oh yeah,
the kid from the Diamondback. Cartel. He was just a little bit better because Marte, dude, what he did in the playoffs was ridiculous. Am I right?
Yeah, he was. I think he hit like 380 or something. He was definitely the key to that offense. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think he had like 22 straight, 21 straight, or something like that.
Yeah. He might have set a record, I think.
Yeah, he did really well. We just the thing with the Diamondbacks is the cleanup spot. They had Christian Walker there, and he's a dynamite player, but man, he super struggled.
Went cold.
He went ice cold, but he bat kind of came alive every now and then, but just not what you need from the number 4 guy in your lineup, you know?
Right.
So the offense went super stagnant.
Yeah. Because you can't heat up when you're down 10-0.
No.
No.
So are you a hockey fan too?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I watch hockey. Mannie hates hockey, but I love hockey.
Well, hockey's on super late, you know what I mean? So I can watch hockey at 10 o'clock when I'm, everybody's in bed and I'm watching hockey. So, yeah, I watched games last night.
Yeah.
So I think
are you a Minnesota hockey fan as well?
I'm not too big on the Wild. I don't know why. I mean, Minnesota used to have the North Stars and they moved to Dallas. So, I mean, we kind of went through a transition there. I really like to just watch hockey in general. Like I don't
what's your like bet that you make on hockey? Do you just bet a lot of like money lines? You put a little money on the line on the spreads, or do you have like prop bets, over unders?
Over unders. I mean, I don't, hockey's a tough one to bet on too, but over unders they're easy. It's kind of like black or red, right?
Yeah. God. That's what I tell people in baseball and hockey, over unders.
So frustrating. You'll just because like someone like myself who doesn't know much about hockey, I'm like, yeah, I should go under. And then guess what they do? They pull their goalie. And then it's like 3 goals later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, with hockey, I mean, you probably got to do more research than any other sport because you're just not as familiar with it.
Yeah.
I mean, most teams have a starting goalie, but they also have a backup. But they're not going to play their starting goalie like 3 times in 1 week. So you always got to know who the backup is, and I mean it's a different animal, that hockey. I mean it's really hard to bet on it, and sometimes you don't even know if you're going to have a goalie change until 30 minutes before the puck drops.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
my yoga buddy here never explained that to me. Wonder why I've been taking all these L's.
So the best way to learn a lot about hockey is to play fantasy hockey. That helps keep you in the loop of who's good, what teams are good, what players are good, things like that. That's how I kind of stay informed with hockey. Is I always have a fantasy hockey team.
I don't think I've ever played fantasy hockey.
I played fantasy football one time, and this is how horrible I was. I tell this story all the time. With my first pick, I'm a big Raider fan. I took Janikowski.
The kicker.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Haven't heard that name in a while.
See that?
Every now and then he'll meet me up at the old pub and we'll have a couple drinks.
Oh yeah, he's always toting around that beer belly with him.
Oh yeah, he was. He was a big boy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that guy was a first round pick.
Yeah, by me.
I don't know if there's been a first round pick drafted a kicker and since then. I couldn't even tell you.
No, he was a monster. Too bad too bad he couldn't throw touchdowns also.
That's right.
And what about football? Who's your squad? Are you a Cardinal guy? Are you a diehard Cardinal fan?
I really like to just watch the game too. I mean, obviously I like the Cardinals. I like the Vikings.
Of course.
Cardinals are super terrible. So it's kind of hard to pay attention to your team when they're super terrible.
Well, we were just talking about how Kyler's coming back this week.
Yeah, hopefully he's coming back. I mean, I don't know. I've heard all kinds of rumors that they're flopping, so who knows, right?
Right. I don't even think that they need to flop. Dude, I am an anti-Cardinals, anti-Phoenix Suns. I'm born and bred here. I literally grew up in Camp Verde my entire life. Almost have never even left Arizona. And but I just don't know. I'm a big Raider guy and I'm a big Laker guy.
Yeah.
So we got Lakers Suns tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely going to chat about that game. Suns have been struggling. Lakers have been struggling. But, I mean, it's just injuries. I mean, we got a lot of players down for the Lakers. Suns obviously have their best player down. I'm not a big fan that Kevin Durant is their best player. I think Booker. What are your takes?
I don't know. I think they got three best players. I think they got Booker, Durant, and Beal. So just working them all into the mix, that's going to be the hardest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you got three superstars, basically. It's a little tough to, unless you're the Miami Heat back in the day.
Ooh, bring it up my boy, the king. Yeah, it's unfortunate there's only one ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. So NBA wise, you're a Phoenix Suns fan, I'm assuming?
Yeah. And I don't watch too much Timberwolves either. You know what I mean?
Ooh, I love the Timberwolves.
They're a nice team. I just I don't get a chance to watch them that often because sometimes I don't get home till 7 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? Sometimes them games are over already. So
of course,
I watch a lot of West Coast stuff. I watch Golden State Warriors. I watch Lakers. I watch any of those TNT games that are late.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that Golden State game last night started at like 8 o'clock against the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nuggets just showed who's the boss in the West. They said, Golden State, you guys are doing great and all, but I don't think that Jokic gets the respect. We've talked about this plenty of times on this. Jokic is just not – people should just be like, yeah, you're the best player in the NBA, but he's just still not. They're talking about Embiid and Giannis, and I just don't – which is fine. I think Jokic loves that.
I've never thought Embiid was even that good.
Well,
I mean, he's a stat guy, but he doesn't. What does he do for his team? Like, he scores points, but I don't know.
It's a tough call.
I mean, I guess you'd say he's their leader, but I don't know how much he leads. I know Jokic leads. You know what I mean? The problem
Jokic is like the modern day Bird.
I'll put it this way: Embiid's kind of like chips or something. It's like empty calories. You know what I mean? Yeah, you score a bunch of points, but you didn't do anything to help your team. Is he making a crucial block at the end of the game? Is he doing this? He's just empty. He's just empty points.
Wow,
great analogy.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's what I think.
Hey, by the way, speaking of statements and whatnot, have you heard our little statement about Luka? We didn't post it.
Oh,
the definition of Luka. We're gonna fill you in on that a little later once we pull that back up. But Daniel, that analogy was phenomenal.
Yeah.
We got to let you. On one of our podcasts, we were talking about something. I got carried away with some wordage, and we were talking about Luca. And we'll figure. Daniel's looking it up right now. He was supposed to post it up on our Instagram, but I think
I did. But
did you?
Yeah. Here we go.
Okay, here. Listen to this. So I go Doncic. I'm like, Doncic is super underrated, but he's not gonna dunk from like a ridiculous value of distance. Daniel's like, what the?
That's a ridiculous value of distance.
A ridiculous value of distance. Who says that?
You apparently.
Oh,
we've had some good liners.
yeah, we have. But that analogy will go down in history. I like that.
Yeah, a half full bag of chips right off the shelf, right?
Right off the
That's
shelf.
right. Yeah, some empty calories.
There goes another shirt.
So it'll be Joel Tostito.
Joel Tostito. I like it. All right, well, let's get into a little NFL.
Yeah, is there anything you wanted to talk about, Joel?
No, just keep rolling with the NFL. Just parade around all the. I mean, this is the best time of year, right? We're getting into college basketball, NFL.
Who do you like this week? Do you have any teams you like this week?
Yeah, I didn't even really look at the schedule too much, but I did pull it up.
Well, what do you think about the Cardinal game? Do you think if Kyler plays, do you think they have a shot at it? Looks like the spread at this point in time is -1.5, so they're getting a 1.5.
Yeah. I mean, it's not worth throwing out a little bit on that one. I mean, obviously the Falcons they're just an average team.
Right.
So, I mean, even the Cardinals, even though they're 1-8 this year, they played a lot of close games with Josh Dobbs,
Right. Didn't you kind of wasn't that like a love type hate situation? You hated the fact that you saw Kirk Cousins go down, but then they picked up Dobb right away. It's like, what the heck?
Well, it worked out for them last week, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Continued rolling along.
What a performance by Dobbs. Dobbs is like, I couldn't even name half of the players on the team, and he still comes out with a win.
I don't even think he had time to introduce himself.
I know, right?
How do they work that in, though? I mean, do they just all right, this is sort of our plays, just know people's routes? Because, I mean, those football plays, I never played football in high school, but I have seen a playbook.
Yeah.
So it's got to be way more complex than the pros. And, of course, these guys are built for that. But still, to move to a whole nother organization and be like, all right, man, go ahead and get out there and get us a win.
Yeah. It's got to be tough, but –
well, I imagine that guy's been playing football his whole life almost. So
right,
I mean, he's got to have a lot of playbooks in his mind. So it's you just kind of take them all together and just roll with it.
But you see that, and then did you guys watch? I don't know if you guys watched Thursday Night Football last night. They just kept talking about how
that was a great comeback.
How the Panthers quarterback, what's his name? Number 1 pick. Anyways, how he struggles with the NFL game and stuff, and it's just like then you see Josh Dobbs come in and do that.
Yeah, and it's understandable the struggle because obviously everybody's faster. But then the kid from Houston, who is the quarterback as well, the rookie quarterback, he's putting up phenomenal numbers.
Yeah.
So could it be like organizational? Could it be like where you come from in terms of your college? I don't know.
I think Bryce Young is way too small. I know
he is.
I know Kyler Murray is pretty small too, but Kyler Murray has exceptional athletic ability.
Right.
I don't think Bryce Young is very accurate either. I think Kyler Murray is way more accurate than him.
Which is totally crazy.
Seeing Bryce Young on TV last night, that guy looked like a kid out there.
Yeah.
He was so small. And that's the first Panther game I've even watched this year.
Well, so why would you watch another one?
Yeah.
I think I've seen. Yeah.
The funniest part about that is the Bears have the Panthers first round pick next year. So that was the battle. That was the battle of the two worst teams in the league the Bears could end up with the number 1 and the number 2 pick next year.
And the number 3 actually.
Or something.
Yeah. They could have the first 3 picks.
Yeah.
So if they're willing to rid of. This is what I was gonna say on other podcasts. Was if they're willing to get rid of Jalen Hurts, they could turn that team. They could turn that team into something good pretty quick.
You said the Bears? They don't have Jalen Hurts. No. They don't have
I mean, not Jalen Hurts.
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. Yeah, way different.
I'm like, hold up.
If they're willing to get rid of Justin Fields, they could turn that team into a really good team.
You guys have a fine system on that show, or what?
Yeah.
Fine right there.
No, Jalen Hurts, that's my boy.
Excuse him, he's a little under the weather.
I am a little. I'm very under the weather.
You got some NyQuil on board?
Yeah,
I need some.
He's drinking his coffee now, but he's spilled like 3/4 of that thing.
Probably half of it.
2 drips in there. Yeah. So the quarterback for Houston, CJ Stroud, Ohio State, comes out and he's having a phenomenal year this year.
I like CJ Stroud. I mean, I hated him when he played for Ohio State, obviously, but I like him in the NFL. He's
Go
really
blue.
Good.
Yeah, and he was out of that quarterback class. He's the best one, but he's probably the one that nobody thought was going to be the best one either.
Yeah. I mean, people are pretty high on what did you say the quarterback from Bama's name is again? I can't even remember his name.
Right, Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, yeah. And it's probably because he's just nowhere in the stats, and he's just doing so horrible. And
they kept saying he doesn't have weapons, but he does have some weapons.
Really,
Adam Thielen.
Yeah, that's about it though. But I mean, like
that's an old Thielen.
Yeah. Somebody else he's hurt right now. I can't think of his name.
It's funny when we say old because he's like 28 years old.
I think he's 33 actually.
33.
I think that's what they said last night.
That's so funny.
I couldn't watch that whole game though. I kept turning it off and like watching something different. Then I'd come back. All right, I'll watch some more of the game.
It's one of those games where if you were betting on it, you can watch it. Other than that, like I couldn't.
Yeah,
we didn't even watch it at the restaurant.
So stupid.
Those two quarterbacks were terrible. It was painful to watch. Like, I mean, play action, check down. Like, I mean, like, come on, air it out. You know what I mean?
I like Bajent though. I do like Bajent.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, he's young. I like him more than Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
Because he's not he doesn't have like Bajent is just young and this is like a huge step for him. So he's like really struggling because of that. But he's actually accurate. Justin Fields has no accuracy at all. Just like Bryce Young. Neither of them, both of those guys sell 30 feet over people's heads all the time. Yeah. And not because they're throwing it away.
Interesting.
I don't know. I find that this Vikings Saints game is intriguing for this weekend.
Oh, definitely.
I think that
I'm a big Carr fan.
Yeah. I don't see a lot of great games on the schedule this week. That's about the only one that I see. Obviously, there's a lot of 4-4 and 4-5 teams playing.
Yeah.
Well, Houston Cincy should be interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting, but I'm telling you what game, and we were talking about this earlier, is that Detroit and Chargers game.
Yeah, that's another interesting.
That's a good defining game for Detroit. Like, they need to pick up a big win, but the Chargers are rolling. Tell them, Big D.
Yeah.
Guys been making so much money on the Chargers.
I know. Yeah. Chargers are – it's going to be interesting, though. Detroit is a rough and tough team. Chargers don't necessarily do well against those teams.
No, they just let it fly.
Yeah, but I still like – I think I still like Chargers in this game.
Yeah, but are the Lions contenders or pretenders? That's the thing.
That's the big thing.
Are they for real?
Well, I think neither. I think they are who they are. Like I don't know who's necessarily saying that they're a contender right now. I think they're on their way to being a contender. So they're not a pretender either. They are just who they are. They're a really good team that's on their way to becoming a contender if they can continue to draft well and do good. But right now they're not there. They're just like one of the better teams in the league right now. That's what I think they are.
Yeah,
I mean, that's definitely a good point. But I mean, they're only maybe a game and a half behind Detroit. I'm talking about Minnesota. So if Detroit doesn't pull away, dude, Minnesota could sneak in there and still win that division. What do you think, bud?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're rolling right now. I mean, Minnesota's they've been on what, 4-game winning streak?
Right. They're 5-4 right now, and Detroit's only 6-2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not much of a difference.
Yeah, I think Detroit will win the division, but at the end of the day,
they do have one of the best linebackers. We give him a lot of prayers. What's his name? We can never get it right. It's not
Aiden Hutchinson. Defensive end.
They also got the Dan Campbell man out there too.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings, I mean, they're on a roll right now. They got lucky last week, but I mean, Josh Dobbs, now
they're going to scout him.
They got to roll.
He's coming in.
Yeah, just like that Will Levis guy a couple weeks ago. He came back down real fast. So
yeah, we're totally in love with Will Levis.
Yeah.
Okay. He was horrible.
I like Will Levis. You think he's horrible?
Yeah. I think he's horrible. I'm just going to go on a limb and say he's horrible.
No.
All right, whatever. What do I
disagree. I mean, he's going to have an up and down year this year because it's his first year, but I think overall he's going to turn into be pretty good. At least another Ryan Tannehill.
He's got a big arm.
Yeah, he does.
He's got a big arm. He can air it out. So
I'll tell you what, a big arm can save you a lot of times.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, hey, listen, let's get into some picks real quick. You have 3 picks that you feel like you
got two. I got 2 this week.
You're only going to go with a deucer?
I'm going with 2 this week.
Okay. Well, let's hear them.
Right. Yeah. So my number 1 is going to be the Monday night game. I know we've been struggling a lot, but Buffalo. Jeez. Buffalo at home Monday night. That crowd is insane on primetime games. Obviously, Buffalo's got to get something going back, but it's against Denver. Come on, give me a break. So Buffalo minus the 7.5.
And your computer actually has a minus 13.
Minus 13, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Somebody said something last week about me not explaining everything that goes into why I pick a team.
Okay.
But I do a lot of it's based on my computer, and then a lot of it's based on 30 years experience and all the other different things. So, but I'm never going to be that guy that's like, oh, they're 13-1 against the spread on a grass field at Monday Night Football, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, guess what? That's a stat that means absolutely jack shit. Some of these stats that people don't understand is that's what I don't like about a lot of sports betting shows is that they get on there and they give you these against the spreads, which means absolutely nothing. They give you all these like statistics. None of that stuff, most of the stuff that they give out doesn't mean anything. I listen for the rare time that they actually say something that is actually a valuable statistic. But that's the thing, I remember when Vegas started making deals with the stat companies, and it makes perfect sense because Vegas wants you to have all the stats that you can possibly have out there so that you confuse yourself on what statistic is important and what statistic is not important. And there's very few statistics that even matter. And again, when I'm looking at my computer lines, that is just a huge part of what I look into. So, that is my explanation as to what goes into my who I pick. So my next one is gonna be the Green Bay at the Steelers. I like the Steelers. I like the Steelers minus 3. My computer actually has them as a 12.5-point favorite against Green Bay. Yeah. So so I'm gonna go
see the way that plays out because what you could do on that, on my end, if you have a little gamble to you, might as well throw that thing minus 14 or 13.5, right?
Or minus 6.5 at least.
Well, you're going to take the minus 3. So
Joel, I might bump it up to minus 6.5.
Joel, you can see the conservative nature in the difference between the two of us.
Absolutely.
Like I'm just like, man, I see something like that, kind of like the Cleveland game week 1. I was like, dude, take 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
because Cleveland was getting 3.5, I believe, week 1, right?
Yeah.
And they ended up winning by 21.
Yeah.
So I put down on Cleveland minus 14. Get what I'm saying? So when I see something like that, I'm like, dude, jump on it. Let's go. And Daniel's like, yeah, jump on it. But
not me.
Just do -6.
Yeah.
We probably bet with our hearts, not our brains.
Yeah, we definitely do. I tell people all the time, we're like Pinky in the Brain. You know and for those people who know what that means, like it's just the intelligence aspect and the one who's just like, oh, you're giving me so much great info. Let's go.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Actually, yeah. I mean, I think you could do that. You could do Pittsburgh -6.5. You could even do Buffalo -9.5. Just do that 2-teamer and just don't do anything else this week. Just that.
So you're looking at a parlay for that one, right?
Yeah,
there?
yeah, a little 2-team parlay.
That's actually probably a solid
spread
parlay.
a little bit.
Yeah,
I would up the spread on that, up the odds on that, because he has it, dude. I mean, it's Pittsburgh should just wipe the floor with Green Bay in Pittsburgh, especially after how pissed the Pittsburgh coach was after their last performance. I think they're going to come out and handle business at home.
Yeah,
I like those.
And both of those are home games.
Yep, home games. One's a Monday nighter, though, right?
Yeah,
Monday nighter.
Yeah.
That Bills crowd is insane on Monday Night Football games.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's too bad it's not snowing, so they can throw snowballs all over the place too. Huh?
It might. Who knows? We're almost there. We're almost there.
It's supposed to get cold.
We're almost there.
Well, that sounds pretty good. Well, I'm going to throw my little 3 picks. And unfortunately, I don't think it's actually unfortunate. I think it's actually super fortunate. Guess who I'm going with? Sort of how you went with your number 1 team. I'm going with my number 1 team. I'm taking the Raiders beating the Jets.
Yeah,
dun, dun, dun.
I did like that one actually. I almost gave that one out.
Right, because that's what I've been doing. I've actually been betting the Raiders on the line. Been hitting most of the time. They have been hitting. They haven't been getting a lot of wins, but they've been covering. So I got the Raiders -1. They're going to go in there. They're looking a lot better. I think that in the Jets are struggling.
Yeah.
I mean, why they haven't even benched Zwak yet? Just baffles me. Zach, can you see us, bud?
Yeah, it's just the internet. We got a bad connection all of a sudden.
Okay.
I think we'll be okay though.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. But yeah, why they haven't even benched? What do you think about that? Like the quarterback for the Jets.
Terrible. Like, I mean, they got to have somebody better than that. I mean, they could throw Aaron Rodgers out there in a wheelchair. It's a shame that the Jets are a decent team, but man, that guy I think he brings the whole team down.
He does.
Yeah.
And I think the locker room is affected because I think the players are wondering the same thing. Like, what are we doing? How come we haven't moved forward with a different quarterback? Our offense is super stagnant. Our defense is killing it, but our offense is just horrible. So at some point in time, the team turns on itself.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing? So Raiders go in there. We're making changes. We made some big changes with it ourselves. I think we go in there and we handle some business. I don't even think that it's like that big of a deal. It's on Sunday night. It's at home. My thing is this. Now it's 3 straight. This is not one of my picks, but it's 3 straight games at home that we've won that the game has gone under. I don't even know what the over-under is on that, but I bet the game goes under. It's 3 straight games that we've won have gone under. I guarantee that we win this game and it goes under.
I got to take 2 seconds here, guys. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, not a problem. Step out.
36.5.
Oh, 36?
Yeah.
Way under. Yeah. I think that's
the next door.
I think that's a hitter. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, for my second pick, go Baltimore. Baltimore is rolling. Baltimore, we might see Baltimore in the AFC Championship against my Raiders.
Yeah.
Probably not. But I'm telling you, I'm taking Baltimore -6, goes in there, cleans house. I don't even think that's going to be like even – I love the fact that it's a division game. It's a division game. So it's always a sleeper game, right? But I'm telling you, people been sleeping on Baltimore. So I think Baltimore goes in there, cleans house against Cleveland. And then my final pick, it's so simple. I've been doing it every week. I told you this. I close my eyes. Whoever the Cardinals are playing against, I pick them. Doesn't even matter. Spread, I don't care. Cardinals are horrible. Why is it even so close? Like Atlanta is horrible, kind of like Joel was saying. But, dude, the Cardinals are garbage.
Well, if Kyler Murray's back.
No, Kyler Murray's back because I feel like that's the trap aspect.
There are so many Kyler Murray haters. I can't
tell us how you really feel.
That's the trap aspect of it. They're like, tell people Kyler's back. Bet on the Cardinals. No, they're gonna be.
No, Kyler's been laying on the couch playing video games for a year. He's not ready.
Yeah, like what is he gonna do? Step in and be the old Kyler? Like,
he's not gonna save the team.
No, because see, during his practice routine run-throughs, there's not somebody coming at him at 100 miles an hour, 260 pounds, ready to just gobble his ass up. And they want to too. Like, they want a piece of him. They're like, oh, you want to come back and you think this is just going to be the old Kyler? Like, just swaze your back into the league? No. Grown man shit. They're going to
He's on his way to the Raiders. That's where he's on his way to. Oh, whoa.
Dude.
My language now.
We would take him. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, of course we would.
But we want a healthy Kyler. Yeah. So anyway, those are my 3 picks. I'm taking the Raiders, Baltimore, ATL, all favorites.
One game we have to talk about.
Okay.
49ers Jags.
I know.
Are you parlaying that? Are you parlaying those?
Yeah, those would be my 3. Well, I always do 3 straight and then 3 parlays. So, yeah, I always kind of bound them together and then just kind of do straights. So in case one of them loses, I'm still kind of rolling. I don't, just have a little fun with it. But I might even throw the Lakers in on it on the money line tonight. But we'll talk more about that a little later.
Yeah.
But anyway, like you were saying, let's chat about this game because that Niners-Jags game is interesting.
Yeah, because they're saying the Niners need a win to not give up on their quarterback, kind of.
Really? They're already talking that?
Yeah.
Getting rid of Purdy?
Well, they're saying maybe he's a pretender. A pretender. I don't think he is.
Yeah.
That's
definitely. Is Chase Young playing tonight?
There's probably the most at stake with those 2 teams this week.
Yeah.
So either the 49ers turn it around or the Jaguars move to the next level.
We're talking about a Jaguar team who's 6-2, Niners team who's 5-3, but a Niners team who just picked up Chase Young. Yeah. So now you have Watt on one end, Young on the other, both Ohio State alum.
Yeah, I like Niners in this game.
Tough call. What do you think?
I'd stay away from that. I'd stay away from that game.
I do agree with Joel, though. If the Jags win this game, it does elevate them to a different level.
Gets them up there with the Ravens, and because so far this season, I don't think there's one team that just stands out. Like, what team would you say, like, hey, this is a Super Bowl team? We thought that was the 49ers for
in the beginning,
first 5 games of the season. The 49ers were just rolling, but they ran into
the Cardinals.
Yeah, they ran into a wall, and I don't know if it's just, obviously it has a lot to do with healthy guys and things like that. But there just isn't a team out there that just is like, hey, this is a really good team. Obviously, Kansas City's always going to be there, but are they really that good either?
No.
Their defense is much improved, but who does Mahomes throw to other than Kelsey?
That's it.
Tony. Yeah. The running backs are always just kind of a, hey, here's whoever just fills in for the week,
Right. And it's all about schemes with Kansas City. Like, that's really what it comes down to. It's like schemes. We're going to do this. We're going to do this little shifty move here. But once teams pick up on stuff like that and they really lock them down, or once Kansas City gets down 2-3 touchdowns to a premier team, they don't come back. They just won't. It's not going to be the same. I am not biased when I say that I hate Kansas City.
No, you're
Absolutely not.
But I hate Kansas City. I hate Golden State Warriors too.
We all got those teams we don't like.
Yeah, Joel, I mentioned this before that I almost feel like Steph Curry and Mahomes are the exact same person. Cannot stand those guys.
It's just Curry looks a lot smaller than Mahomes would on a football field versus a basketball field. They're probably the same size.
Oh, yeah, they probably are.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So let's do two more our NBA pick.
Okay.
And then I want to talk about one college football game.
Oh.
Well, we can talk about multiple. And then we'll recap.
Okay. Yeah, no, I have a crazy, and I was telling you about this a little earlier about a college football game.
Yeah.
This is insane.
That's right.
But yeah, let's dabble a little into the NBA. So, I mean, obviously we know the Lakers go in there and handle business tonight. But let's talk about why they handle business. First of all, I love the Lakers, but the Suns are a solid team on paper. Like you said, they have 3 all-stars, 3 superstars, to be honest, in what we know now as the superstar nation. But there's only one ball.
Yeah.
And Durant can't shoot it every time. Even though I created a great scheme on how to handle that, I say for one quarter, Durant shoots the ball only. For the next quarter, Booker shoots the ball only. For the third quarter, Beal shoots the ball over, and then you flip a coin to see who does it for the fourth. Because to be honest with you, that would work.
Durant in the fourth.
Whoever's the hottest for the fourth, right?
That's it. Whoever has the highest percentage.
Durant's the most clutch out of those guys.
The Laker team is solid. We're stacked. We're big. Davis is playing well. Why we lost to the Houston Rockets, I have no idea. Let's not even talk about that.
Can't even name a player on the Rockets.
No. No.
I got somebody's kid. I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rockets.
Somebody.
We don't need to waste
it even matters. Anyway, we lost by 40 to the Rockets. It's going to happen. You're going to have off games. Plus, who knows what happens in Houston with these guys? Like, they go out, they do some crazy things. Something's in the water. But these premier games, Lakers, Suns, Lakers, Golden State, Suns, Milwaukee, I'm telling you, they're close games. Even if you don't take the Lakers on the money line like I'm thinking, at least consider taking Lakers on the spread. It's only 3.5, even though they just got blown out by the Houston Rockets. Suns snuck past Chicago. It's going to be a close game. It could come down to something really stupid, like a dumb foul or something that covers the spread at 4, but I'm still going to take Lakers in the points. Even if you're not a Laker fan, it's still very vital to understand like that half a point could be ridiculously important.
Yeah. All right, well, my NBA game, I like the Kings are 1.5 point underdog against the Thunder. I like the Kings money line though tonight.
Okay.
Kings to win that game against the Thunder tonight.
Both the late games.
Both late games, so you'll be able to watch them.
Yeah,
I like the Kings tonight. The Kings haven't been playing like they should be.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about the division champs from last year, Sacramento Kings, and that division is tough.
Yeah. So, college football, a huge game this week.
Okay.
Michigan versus my most hated team, the Penn State. In Penn State, Michigan's a 4.5 point favorite. I'm sure Penn State will probably do well. It's 10 a.m. game, so maybe they won't do a whiteout. That's a tough game. 8-1, 9-0, but I like Michigan in that game.
Yeah.
What do you think about that Michigan-Penn State game, though? Michigan's third, Penn State's 10th in the nation.
Man, those are tough because I always feel like the higher ranked team comes out ahead. What do you think?
I don't know. I think Michigan's good. I think they haven't played a lot of tough opponents yet this year, but Michigan was close last year and they got better this year, and they didn't even lose anybody.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the only thing about Michigan is they've had some issues with some cheating this week.
Yeah.
A bit of a distraction. So
it's a bit of a distraction.
Yeah.
I don't know if it leaks over into those college athletes like it leaks into the professionals, but I mean, it can't be a good thing.
Well, it might piss them off. Remember, the Patriots almost went 18-0 that year. They had that scandal. They were just pissed off every week.
But it's a good point to understand that maybe it's not the same with pros and so. But here's the thing: it's Penn State's at home. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you were saying, a possible whiteout.
Yeah, probably not. 'Cause it's not a night game, but
yeah, that's a tough call.
I think that money line is. I think it's low. I think Michigan probably. I don't know. I think they roll them.
yeah, I kind of do too.
But I don't. I mean, I don't know. Vegas must seem to think something's a little different because only 4 points. That's. I don't know. I just.
And of course, that knocks Michigan out of the top 4 if they lose.
Yeah. Yeah, Penn State plays them good, but their coaching's not as good as it's been in years past either. So about your game. Now this one is crazy.
This one is ridiculous. So I don't know if you've heard. It's been on the internet. It's been talked about. It's been discussed. People talking about everybody's on the under. And when I hear that, I can't help but just want to take the opposite every time. But the Rutgers and Iowa game, the over-under for that stands at
28.
It stands at 28 points. What do you think about that?
Iowa's offense is terrible. I don't know a lot about Rutgers, but I don't know what the statistics are for the unders for Iowa, but I imagine that's probably a pretty safe bet.
Wouldn't it be funny if it just lands on 28? It just lands on 28. Like that's
end up 9-3.
Right.
I think it could. It could just be a field goal. Plus, it's in Iowa. I mean, is it going to be? It's cold up there, right? I mean, I've never been in the Midwest area, so I'm assuming it's possible weather. Maybe
it's a 1:30 game, so it'll be 11:30 there. So
the average points scored for Iowa is 18.4 this year, and Rutgers 26.8.
So they're scoring 20.
However, the points allowed per game for Iowa is 13.67, not quite 14, and 17.89 for Rutgers.
So it's like right there at 30.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's going to be close. That's probably how we ended up with that over under.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? Let's just make it juicy. Give it 28. We'll either make a shitload or we're just going to lose. No big deal. We'll get it all back on that Michigan-Penn State game. Just kidding.
What's the trend on over-under for Iowa? How many
over? Or apologize, under. People are, it is popping under like crazy. From what I've last I seen on the internet, I was like looking at it, and people are jumping on the under.
Of course they are.
I mean, you want to, right? But then I'm like,
what?
It's college football. You gotta take the over.
You know, be funny. You know, be funny to just if you're gonna bet that, might as well just do 24. Just drop it even lower. I say so. Like, just might as well take a couple extra more points and just like let's really gamble. It's kind of like when they put a bullet. Here's a gun. You know, I'm like, you know what? Let me add a couple more bullets.
Well,
on
it's
this
probably gonna be
roulette.
like 10-3, or it's gonna or 10-7, or it's gonna go like over.
Because there's
like
not
45.
a good. It's probably not a good chance that it's going to land on 28. So it's like you said, it's either going to go. I don't think it sneaks over. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. It's interesting.
28, could be 14-14, go to overtime, and then everybody be pissed. Then it gets, I don't know. What do I know?
Those overtimes will kill you too.
Oh,
They
they're
keep going back and
brutal
forth.
in college. Mm-hmm.
That one will give you a heart attack. You might as well just stay away from that game.
Yeah, watch it. Just kind of just review it.
If you're betting the under, anyways.
All right. Well.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, Joel. We appreciate it. We'd love to have you again sometime.
And Joel, my name is Manny, and it was a pleasure meeting you, bud.
You too, man.
Yeah. We'll definitely chat some more.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, you guys run a legit podcast there, man. I like it. I'm gonna start watching you.
Yeah,
awesome. I appreciate
it.
Subscribe, all that. Thank you, man.
Absolutely,
and we'll get you on again.
All right, cool, man. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Thanks. All right. Well, that was fun. Joel's awesome.
Joel's goals.
Yeah. So let's do a little recap and end the show. What's your
quick recap
games?
I mean, I gotta stick with the fan favorite. What's got me to the top? Taking the Raiders -1, going Baltimore -6, who are going to continuously roll, continuously getting back criticism from people saying maybe, yeah. Anyway, they're going to roll. They're spanking Cleveland, even if it's a divisional game. And then, like I said, close your eyes. Whoever Arizona Cardinals are playing against, jump on them. Atlanta -1.5 and a no-brainer.
All right. And then I just did 2 games this week. I've got Buffalo covering. Like I said, I think you can even pump that to -9.5.
Right.
And then I got Pittsburgh covering, and I'd definitely pump that to 6.5 as well. So just the 2-teamer.
Right.
Right now we're 21-8.
Yeah. Killing it.
That's phenomenal.
And
who else is doing that in the game right now?
Right. And you're still taking the loss on that Rams game, even though you didn't bet it. But you gave it out. But people should know if during game time something changes, back off the game.
Or hit me up. Just be like, hey, heard Stafford's not playing. Are you still going with this game or not, or whatever? You know what I mean? You guys can always hit me up. And I'll respond to you.
Yeah.
Or if, a game goes south or games go south, hey, are you doing something tonight or whatever? Just hit me up and we'll figure something out for you. All right, guys. Well, apologize for my sickness today. I'll be better next week, though.
That's what he always does.
But, all right, guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys watching the podcast. We got a few comments here. By the way, thanks for Pointer checking us out, watching, and Christian as well.
Zamora.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. And next week I don't know if we'll have a guest next week or not, but we might. We'll see what happens.
I wish we could get Christian on the line.
We can get Christian.
It would be nice to get Christian on the line. Just a little taste of a little youth.
Oh, also our podcast is going to move to Tuesdays.
Right.
Tuesday nights. And that should be every Tuesday night. So that'll be good. That'll be perfect. Nothing else is on. So and then I might start doing more podcasts. We'll see. Just solo ones. Throughout the week as well. We'll see what happens. But all right, guys, thank you so much. As always, let's make some money.
Let's have fun doing it.